everyone, and welcome to another episode of Doha Heat podcast. Last week, we collaborated with Qatar Foundation to bring two graduating students from Virginia Commonwealth University and Texas A&M University. This week, we're going to be talking to two students, one from Northwestern University and one from Georgetown University. And what's really interesting about them is that they're married to each other.
Yeah, I confirm.
Yeah. So today I'm going to be talking to Mariam Al-Dhubhani from Northwestern and Mohammed Al-Jaberi from Georgetown University. And I think it's going to be a really fun episode because they're a really awesome couple. I've spent some time with both of them and they're a lot of fun. So stay tuned. Okay, so Mariam, tell me a little bit about yourself.
My name is Mariam Al-Dhubhani. I am Yemeni Russian, and I'm going to soon be graduating from Northwestern University in Qatar. I'm a journalist and a filmmaker. Recently I dragged my husband into my passion into making documentaries, and we recently shot 2 films in Yemen that are still in post-production, and that's where we are now.
So you're already being converted.
Hi, I'm the husband, which means I do everything she asks, which includes filming, producing for her the films, and driving, cooking.
What do you study at Northwestern, though?
Journalism.
And what are you studying at Georgetown?
International politics.
International politics.
Yes.
Okay, tell me a little bit about yourself.
So again, I'm the husband. I study international politics, and we both moved to Qatar about 3 years and 8 months ago. Before coming to Georgetown, I did chemical engineering, but I realized that it wasn't for me. So I decided that the way forward is to do something that I'm passionate about, and it was at Georgetown, Qatar. I like social sciences, but the wife keeps pulling me to filmmaking, and I think that I have a future in that now.
Do you like filmmaking, though?
Yes, I do. I really enjoy. I would consider myself a photographer.
Mm-hmm.
So to transition from still photography to filmmaking, it's something that I enjoy.
Well, there are a lot of ways you can combine both your passions for social sciences and filmmaking, and I think you guys already do that with the kind of documentaries that you produce. Anyway, before we get into that, I want to ask you guys, how did you meet? Because this is literally I don't think the show is about talking about how people meet, but because I am a huge advocate of love, I want to know how you met. So tell me.
So he has 2 versions apparently now.
Well, let's stay with one. Okay.
And I have one version. Do you want to tell yours?
So, 24th of December 2010, I was invited to an American institution to come and talk about my experience as an exchange student in the U.S. And especially spending Christmas with an American family. And it was the library at Amidst in Sana'a, and there was this...
So you both were in Yemen?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
There was this gorgeous girl sitting in the middle of the crowd, and...
I was the only girl.
You were the only girl.
Yeah.
And,
keep going.
And
it's a good start.
I felt in love with her ever since. We were
so it was
friends.
love at first sight.
It was attraction at first sight, and we were friends, close friends, best friends. I fought my way out of the friend zone, and
that sounds like there are more stories behind that, but okay.
And yeah, so we got married on July 20th, 2015.
So how long after you met?
5 years.
5 years. Wow, mashallah. So yeah, what's your version of how you met?
Well, we were the best friends part. So from there, after. So we were really close. He was in another country doing his chemical engineering. I was in Yemen trying to finish my clinical pharmacy degree, and we were just so close, talking all the time, and out of a sudden he just proposed. And that was the story. No, I love you, it's nothing. Listen, if my family comes...
We need to provide cultural context, because in Yemen you can't just go and
yeah, but you could have been a little bit smoother. A little bit.
Well, it worked.
I really thought it was a joke.
3 years and a half.
What?
4 years.
Come again?
No, we should get to... But you already knew each other.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I mean, let's cut him some slack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was cute. Like
She's very lucky
he
to have
shocked
me,
me
yes.
and then khalas, like I didn't know how to escape. That was it.
Wow,
So
that's
you
how
said
you
yes
describe
out of
it.
shock.
Wow.
That's great. Okay. So, Mariam, you studied clinical pharmacy. You studied engineering. You both transitioned from a science-based sort of course to like a liberal arts, humanities, social sciences course in Qatar, basically, when you joined QF. How did that happen? How did that transition happen?
So for me, I didn't want to be a disappointment to my family and not do engineering or
Don't
medicine.
we all?
So for 2 to 3 years of my life, I tried to do engineering, thinking that, okay, even if I don't enjoy it, I'll graduate, find a job, and work at it and maintain my life the way it is. But after 2 years into the program, I realized that I was not happy. I was not feeling that I'm going to achieve something. I felt that I'll be just another person somewhere. And I took the conscious decision that quitting was the way out. I went back home for a year and then only applied to Georgetown. If I didn't get into Georgetown, I don't know what alternative option I might have had.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but I'm really glad that I took that decision.
How did you find out about QF? Like, how did you find out that because you were in Yemen at the time, how did you find out, like, okay, first of all, that yes, I want to move out of here and that I want to go to Qatar and there's a university there that's for me?
So the first time I came to Doha was in 2011 as part of the WISE program, WISE Learners program.
Mm-hmm.
At the time, I was a student in France and I was invited for the first batch of the program. And I was fascinated with what Education City and QF provided.
Mm-hmm.
The way I think about it is knowledge always is consumed in this region but produced somewhere else. And being in Education City, I saw an opposite to that kind of sense of we just read books that were written in the West or were produced there. There is a potential that you can create something, do something, make something.
So you can actually produce knowledge here.
Yeah. No, and the sense of impact, if I lived in the West and I studied in the West and stayed there, whatever I do, it's like a small dent. But when you do something here in this part of the world,
when
whatever
it's
you
in
do,
the inception stages,
the impact is actually measurable, and I'm excited for
I
that.
totally agree with you on that. Okay, what about you? How did you find out about Northwestern?
Well, for me, because we both left amidst the war in Yemen, so it was 2015 August, like 6 months into the war, and he got accepted into Georgetown, but I lost the ability to work and study, and I wasn't sure what I can do next. And similar to Mohammed, like I didn't want to be a disappointment to my dad, and he always wanted me to pursue something in medicine or engineering. Otherwise, I'm wasting my life. And then
your potential,
exactly. I think like Arab families and many other cultures, they kind of do that.
No, I totally relate on like the spiritual level right now.
So everything else is out of reach.
Yeah.
But I think my family gave up on me, and now they're like, just a certificate, just graduate, no matter what, just send us the certificate.
Yeah.
So I moved in with Mohammed as a PR. I had a job here. And it didn't work out, and then he actually pushed me to apply to Northwestern because he was the one fascinated with Education City. I didn't know much about it, and I always wanted to do journalism, and he was like, why not start over? And we did.
Thank you, Northwestern.
And you actually...
thank you, guys. You can thank me for bringing her to Northwestern.
Okay, so
much joy.
I think we're gonna end the interview now. Yeah. So you got into Northwestern.
Yeah, it was such a roller coaster. Like I didn't expect to. We had so much going on. It was quite a difficult time. I just wanted to go back home. Like I felt like I didn't make it here. But then they were so supportive, especially the admissions office. Amira Hariri was the one who just held my file, and she was like, this girl is coming here. That's it. She has potential. She will make it. She's getting in. Yeah.
Wow. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, no thanks to you, but So anyway, how have your 4 years been? What have been some of the achievements that you guys have, and what have been the challenges of studying here?
Want to go wife first?
For me personally, it was quite difficult because of guilt survivor. So when you leave a place when everything is falling apart and you're in this beautiful space, you have electricity, you have water, you have this amazing building. The dorms is 5 stars, I think, you know.
Yeah.
And then you just, every time you call home or check on the news on home, things are falling apart, and this paradox is just tearing you apart from the inside. And at the same time, you can't do anything to help. If you go back, then you're just within the pile. You can't move forward, you can't support them. So I think for the first, until recently, until we did our first documentary, I was constantly beating myself up that, who am I to deserve this? Like, who am I to deserve this? Every day, every night.
Yeah, when everybody else from my background is struggling through it.
Yeah, exactly. But I think the change now that if we're not standing on our feet, then we cannot help anyone else. And that realization came with us trying to filtering the baggage that we had and everything that's within, the war from within, and then trying to do something hopefully with film or with research or whatever set of skills we have. We're not doctors and we're not, well, he's a politician, but there is nothing we can do yet except tell stories. And this is our weapon for now. We just tell stories from home.
That's such a beautiful thing that you've said, like, because I'm a journalist too. I mean, we know that, and that for me, that's very important. Just being able to tell the stories, because the stories are not just important for you, but it's important for the people that are telling you. They're giving you, like, they're putting a lot of hope in you and a lot of faith in you when they're letting you say their stories. You know, being a representation of what they are. So it's beautiful.
Yeah, exactly.
What about you?
So, I think the biggest achievement that I have had in the past 4 years is
being married.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. That's exactly
Right.
Is being married to my lovely wife.
Yeah. Do you see what I'm doing? Like, I put that idea into his head.
On an academic level, I've been very happy about my decision to come to Georgetown, and I feel every day more fulfilled than the day before, being exposed to knowledge on another level. I think two of the big achievements I've done was recently to do research from Yemen on the field as my honor thesis as a graduating senior, and do the film, the 2 films with my wife. There is a way that in social science we like to look for trends, look what's going on a macro, even if it's a micro level, it's very limited. But what filmmaking gives me is to dig deeper in the margins and try to find stories of people that matter.
Yeah.
So being able to shift and go back and forth between these 2 different levels of analysis or way of thinking, it's a fascinating experience, and it's an achievement that I cherish.
Okay. Wow. So, any challenges that you faced along the way?
We've been married for 4 years. Yes. So yeah.
See, that's what he was gonna say.
Yeah. So you list the challenges to the marriage, and the research was smooth. Okay.
Okay, what about you?
I didn't give my answer yet.
She gave her back to I was just like, whatever. If you're gonna say that to her, then.
No, I mean the challenge is, as Mariam said, to live far away from your family while it's in a state of war, and to live as students. I mean, we are 28 now. We are older than the average student body.
You look very young, so
it's older.
You know? It's older. So you should never feel older. Anyway.
So when we came here, we were 24 our freshman year. So we couldn't fit with the majority of the student body because they're way younger than us.
Yeah, most, like, if you're joining freshman year, they're all 18.
18, some 16, yeah.
Mostly, yeah.
And we didn't fit within the staff members and faculty because at the end of the day, we're still students. So for the first 2 years, that's a challenge that we were trying to, work around and live, but living within the dorms and education city, I think it's an environment by its own, and it's a support system where you don't see yourself as a 20-year-old person, but you see yourself as a hopefully fresh graduate soon and a student.
Yeah, and you have each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was
So,
nice.
yeah. So, Mariam, and I know you've achieved a lot during your time at Northwestern. I've seen a lot of your films, a lot of the work that you're doing. You know, you gave a TED talk about your experience. So, I mean, you've mashallah really taken advantage of your resources. I'm pretty sure you have too, but I've experienced seeing what she's done.
Northwestern, no bias. That's Northwestern bias.
You should follow my social media too. Then I would have. No, but so, and I know, I've always, every time she's ever achieved something, I've seen you in the audience cheering her on, which is beautiful. To watch. So tell me, what has been according to you, what is the most special thing you've done while you were at university?
Thank you for the kind words first. I'm telling everyone, social media is kind of a liar. I don't think I've done that much, but I'm starting to do things. I feel like I'm at the right step. For me, I think what gave me the greatest push to healing was the documentary I've done with DFI.
Mm-hmm.
It's the one that you gave the
award
award
for.
to.
Yeah.
I wish I was there, but I don't know if you've seen it, but that documentary was kind of the breakthrough. I was truly pushed to do it to the limit that I cried every day making it. And I thought, okay, Mariam, just do it for yourself. No one's going to see it. That's just for you to start getting out of your shell and just move forward.
What was the topic of the documentary?
So it's a personal documentary about the psychological and emotional struggles that individuals have who has been into a war zone and managed to leave, but they took the war with them. And those individuals are my husband and myself, but then it kind of microed into my struggle and us being freshly married and then trying to start a life, not planning for things, but things fell apart.
So you guys acted in the documentary, or what was it like?
It's not a typical documentary, not like Hollywood or American style. It's more into the European, more into the poetic.
Mm-hmm.
So we were there. One part of the documentary was the rawest conversation we ever had. We lost our first child when we moved to Qatar, and we never spoke about it for 2 years. It was one of the things that we just shut down, move forward. We're just oriented to move forward.
Mm-hmm.
And in 2 years we didn't talk about it at all, but it kept something, a dark spot in my heart, and I just wanted to deal with it. I couldn't talk to my mom, obviously. I'm not gonna call her and cry. I'll always call her and be happy. I'm okay, everything is fine, just checking on you guys. We didn't have really a close group of friends or support because it's just us, and going through that together and feeling okay, I'm the woman, I'm the one who's been torn apart from the inside. He's a man, probably he was there, but he wouldn't feel it. And not to demean him, he's still amazing, but it's something that we women go through and not much is talked about, and I didn't know how to deal with it. So my way of talking to him, we had a conversation that 3 strangers were filming for the first time ever, holding hands and
you were
crying.
having a conversation with him for the first time about it in front of... Oh my God.
So it was really heavy on both of us, and I appreciate that it was also heavy on him, and he did it for me because he knew how important that was for me.
That's
I'm
beautiful.
the one who cried in this film. So.
Oh, that's beautiful. I want to watch this film now. Just to see you cry.
I'm sorry. But I think it's that moment that it made things start to open up. There are too many clouds and everything is too dark, which is not bad because the rain is great. But then you need sunshine sometimes. Yeah. So that was the crack of light getting in. And slowly since then, I feel I became more empowered because I came and I was just holding myself close to the wall, just doing what I need to do. I just want to do my classes. I just want to work hard. That's it. Mm-hmm. But we live once. If I don't take care of myself, I can't take care of anyone else at all, including my family.
Yeah. That's beautiful. Thank you for sharing that story.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what you think your biggest achievement.
Yeah.
And I think that is a huge achievement, to be working with an external, because most people from our universities, we get grants to produce projects that we showcase in our university, but being able to do that with an external organization, that's takes another level of, achievement and hard work. So
And there were people I didn't know. Like, open up to a bunch of strangers, like, they're dissecting me. Like this is so hard.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
But alhamdulillah, like, that was amazing. I'm forever grateful.
That's beautiful. Do you have anything to say about that?
I'm a supportive husband. So.
You can speak your mind. It's okay.
No, it was an interesting experience going through it, especially the making the film.
Yeah.
At first, I was against making the film because it's very hard to put yourself out in front of everyone.
To open yourself up for scrutiny from like outside people. Yeah, I get that. Yeah.
But when I thought about it, that it's important as a healing process for her, and as a man, I could never experience what she went through. So it was the right thing to do. The film won a GIAL Festival's Best Documentary. It was recently screened at the Palm Spring MDocs, American Documentary Film Festival.
Beautiful. Very nice.
Yeah, I'm really proud of her and where she is now, where we came from.
It's amazing. And you were telling me that you did a thesis on something about Yemen, and you made So did you guys go back to Yemen to do this research and to make your documentaries?
Yes. So it was the same trip. We did 3 different projects. Together for the films, and the research was me only.
Mm-hmm.
So I did the research for my senior year, called honors thesis at Georgetown.
Mm-hmm.
And I got support and mentorship from my Georgetown faculty members and the administration to do that.
What is it about, like, the premise? Because it's an original piece. I'm really proud.
So
like, no one has done this before.
You both are here just to like promote yourselves.
I'm sorry you have to say it.
Ifat, nobody asked you about your achievements, Melissa.
Let's switch. I'll interview you.
No. Yes, tell me.
So, as an international politics major, I'm interested in governance, local governance, and state governance. So my research project was to go and study 2 different cities and see what makes one of them more stable than the other,
mm-hmm.
And try to figure out a way to articulate that in an academic formula. So that was, in a nutshell, what my research was about. Talking about Yemen has always been on a macro level as
mm-hmm.
a whole country,
yeah.
and I tried to contribute more into the localities.
Yeah,
I think it's more important to focus on different regions to figure out a future solution for the country.
So you kind of achieved your goal of producing academic content.
Well, not there yet. I mean, it's an undergraduate.
It's
an undergraduate academic research.
Yeah.
It depends what the future is hiding for me to take that forward if I'm going to grad school.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Hold on. I lost my train of thought. I was asking something and then you like...
The documentaries.
Yes.
Yeah, so the documentaries were a combination of 2 grants from Northwestern University. One of them is Studio 20Q, which is a student-organized kind of club. Like, they support films.
Yeah.
And it was really hard to convince people to give us money to go to a war zone. So the amount of push that we had from some students who were in charge of 20Q, the previous board, Minna Azam, like, they were fighting for us to get the grant.
That's amazing. Yeah, because usually you have to, like, if you want to go somewhere, you have to tick the boxes of safety.
Yeah. So we had to really fight for that one. And we weren't allowed to take equipment, so we had to find a third party. And it's understandable because everyone is scared. Like, this is a liability. And if anything happens to us, to me as a student from Northwestern, then it's apparently a big deal. I'm going to sue them if I'm dead somehow. So we went forth with it. We had one documented in Aden about a soldier who is stuck between what he's supposed to be. He's a civil engineer, but he can't find a job, obviously, and he's just sitting in checkpoints.
Oh, wow.
And that was premiered in 20Q, but we're still editing it further. And then we had a 360 documentary shot in Old Sana'a City, that's in the capital, and it was also showcased in the Mill. It's a new department within NUQ that is all about VR, contrast VR.
Mm-hmm.
And amazing news that some people from a UN division who are interested in UNESCO heritage sites, they actually want to do something about it.
Oh, that's amazing.
More than just raise awareness or show, oh, this is the beautiful place in Yemen that you can't visit. And it's like being demolished and it's under war. But no, let's raise funds to help it. Because with the recent things that's going on in the world, of course, if anything happens in France, it's, great, they get support. But Syria, Iraq, Yemen, well, it used to be there, not anymore. Too bad.
Yeah. Wow. Okay, so how have your families like because you said that you chose to do what you wanted to do, but your families would have preferred if you did something else. And now that they see the work that you've produced in all of these years, I've had a very similar experience because my family really wanted me to go into science as well, and I had to really I was rebel child doing my own thing, so I totally understand that, and I know how their mentality has progressed over the years to when they've seen oh, she's actually happy and she's doing things that she's good at doing rather than doing things very badly that she's not good at doing. So how have your families reacted to this?
Well, my dad is a whole different story. So Mom is always supportive. She's always been supportive since I was in Yemen. I was always producing on the side. I would do my studies to please my dad, but I'd try to escape and do something in media all the time. But he never acknowledged it. And I don't know, maybe it's just I have some daddy issues. So until now, he's not acknowledging the whole thing, but he's fine, she's married. I think it's okay, whatever she does, she has a husband by her side, which really troubles me. But it's okay. I still love my dad. What to do?
I mean, he's protective.
Change. Yeah. So whatever I do now is a mutual success, which it is. But I would love for him to say, "Oh, my daughter did it," Not yet. Not there yet. Still waiting.
This is most brown people struggle. It's you do everything in the world and they'll still be yeah, but when I was your age, I did blah blah blah. So no, but at least one person, that's good.
Yeah. At least I have my mom.
50% of your family is proud of you.
True.
What about you?
So, being a disappointment to my family, not being an engineer or a doctor, I think you guys as journalists are the same. But I think, because I tried to do chemical engineering and I quit, so my family are not believing that I'm graduating. So I think after I walk on the stage and receive my diploma, they might not still believe that I'm graduating.
Maybe when you have a job.
Yes, exactly.
That's how it works.
That's motivation for them.
Yes.
Yeah, you get the money. Okay.
Now
you're successful.
Now there is an approval to be
yeah.
But other than that, no. I think they've been very supportive of giving me my space to do my thing. When I decided to quit in 2014. People around the world were in disbelief that, are you leaving France to come back to Yemen? But I knew that it was the right decision at the right time. So that was working out for me now, and I have my own support system, which is my wife now, and that's what matters.
Wow. Okay. What are your future plans now? What do you want to do with your degree? What do you want to do with your degree? And you touched upon it a little bit. You want to tell stories.
Yes.
What about you?
I want to tell stories too.
I knew you were going to say that.
Come as a package.
I'm graduating next Thursday, inshallah. And my future plans evolve around me being part of an organization or an entity that has a vision for an impact. What I care about is a place where there is a vision that change, minimal, maximum, small, large, should exist to benefit people. This might be a kind of a naive and romantic sense of a future career, but that's where I think I'll find myself more fulfilled. Would it be a non-profit or for-profit, corporate, does not matter as long as I feel there is an impact. Yeah.
Hey, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you've already said. You want to add anything to that?
Well, I'm graduating this summer. That's what's in it out there. Well, yeah, I think, our kind of thoughts align in that, and I'm so happy because I think we're a good team. But it's okay if we work in different places, just so we miss each other. Just
Wow,
saying.
she's throwing some ideas out here.
Maybe she's done her research before she came here. This is how she's telling you,
Yes,
like,
yes,
hey,
yes.
peace out.
Wow.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you got to know that on the show.
Yeah.
If you want, we can call you alone so you can talk about your
Yeah, sure.
grievances.
Follow up. Yes.
Thank you guys for being here.
Thank you
Come
for
back
having me.
on this show a few years later. Tell us what you've achieved. We'll be very happy to hear that.
Thank you so much.
Thank
for
you.
having us.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank
Thank you guys for listening. I hope you have a great week. See you next week, inshallah, and have a great Ramadan ahead. Bye-bye.